the birth and death of Jesus have not served my family well. I think sweet baby Jesus somehow has always just set us a little bit on edge. Like Mercury in retrograde, like farts in church. To say we're dysfunctional would be an understatement, but we don't put the fun in dysfunctional. Christmas, oh, Christmas was always extra special. My dad was unusually unhinged. On Christmas Eve, he would leave the house at 8 in the morning and show up back at 5, usually pretty well loaded. And he would walk in the door and he would yell, "Merry fucking Christmas!" And my mom would give him the side eye and he would say, "What are you looking at?" They would exchange their usual unpleasantries, and then we would head to Aunt Margaret's. She lived in Langleyville, a mere 2 miles from our trailer park. You heard me right. Robert Earl King has nothing on us. That 2 miles to Langleyville was down a hilly road with deep ditches on each side. And every Christmas I prayed we would make it to and from Aunt Margaret's. My dad liked to aggravate my mom, so the more she explained and shared her worry, the more he would swerve toward the ditch. And then he would speed up as we went down the hills. And then as we went up the hills, he would slow down to a crawl until the truck just started to slide backwards. We would arrive at Aunt Margaret's, we would stumble out of the car and into the kitchen, and we would pour ourselves some eggnog. I was happy to be alive, and we all pretended like nothing had just happened. Mom hated Aunt Margaret. She'd married into a big Italian family, and they represented the haves, and well, we represented the have-nots. Oh, they were as dysfunctional as we were. Uncle Ron had been drinking all day, but he was not unhinged. Uncle Ron was a civilized drunk, which was a good thing because Aunt Margaret was all about appearances. When my dad was around, he loved to agitate her. So when we would walk in, he would go, "Merry fucking Christmas!" And she would say, "Johnny, there are kids in this house and we don't speak that way here." They said fuck all the time, but in a whisper. Once we got to Aunt Margaret's, my level of gratitude was so high because we had survived the drive. And going to her house was like going to the Taj Mahal. I've never been to the Taj Mahal, but her house was extra on a normal day, and on Christmas even more so. Going from a trailer to their house, which was a 3-bedroom ranch, seemed like a mansion. Aunt Margaret's motto was "Go big or go home," and I actually think I stole that from her, so I'm grateful. She had 2 large Christmas trees, one in the proper living room and one in the regular family room. They also had a small Christmas tree in the bathroom, which seemed a bit overboard to me. The Italian uncles pretended to be Santas every Christmas. And long after I knew Santa wasn't real, it was fun trying to figure out which Santa was the guy that year. Reflecting back on it, my dad was like Uncle Eddie from Christmas Vacation. He always wore a tan polyester suit, a Stetson hat, and a wood-carved bolo tie of either a duck or a turtle. I don't know why. He was extra, but not in the Aunt Margaret sort of way. Beyond fearing for my life at Christmas, I really love it. The Christmas trees and the lights and the miracle of our sweet 8-pound baby Jesus. Getting presents, making Christmas cookies, the possibility of the impending new year, new hope, new chances. I really do love this time of year. Have I mentioned the food at Aunt Margaret's? Don't even get me going. It was a smorgasbord. My mom would always say, "Money's no object over at her house at Christmas." And my mom was right. She was bitter, but she was right. I think that food there would rival the Taj Mahal food. Aunt Margaret had shrimp, and it was so big, and it was in a big industrial-style bowl. There must have been hundreds of shrimp, and she had a honey-baked ham, and she had roast beef, and they had Italian pasta and desserts. And my favorite was the pizzelle cookies. You know those cookies? They're the thin wafer-like cookies, and they have vanilla in them, and they have powdered sugar on them, and there's even a pizzelle iron. So if you're rich enough to make pizzelles, you have a pizzelle iron, I guess. But for me, I loved the taste of those cookies. It was like a miracle in every cookie. And then there were the gifts. My cousin, with their big Italian family, they received 20 to 25 gifts every Christmas. My brother and I would get 5 to 8 gifts. They were usually smaller, but we were so grateful for those gifts. One year I got a pink Angora sweater. The next year I got a necklace with Love's Baby Soft perfume. I mean, you can't go wrong with Love's Baby Soft. Might be why I'm a lesbian now. My dad would continue to drink all night, and around 10 p.m. I would start to get nervous because we'd have the precarious ride home. Obviously we lived because I'm standing in front of you, so I didn't die on Langleyville Road. One year though, we did spin out and end up in the ditch, and I took great pride when my dad had to call the tow truck. My parents grew up around the Great Depression, and they didn't receive Christmas gifts, so my dad didn't feel that we should get any gifts either. And from the time we were little, my dad's version of Christmas gifts were things that he would find in the street, or the alley, or things that he could buy at the bar. My mom said it was his home away from home. One year he brought us used sleds. These sleds were not in good shape. They were rusted, and the rails were loose, and he said you could fix them. My brother was 4. A few years later, my brother got a Budweiser beer light. He was 6. And I got a Schlitz lamp. My dad won them gambling, and he was so proud. My Schlitz lamp had the statue with the lady holding it and the globe on top, and it lit up. And I think it would be worth a lot of money now, but at 12, I didn't really appreciate it. As we entered our teens, my brother and I would share our list with Mom on the side, and Dad would always grab it and say, I'll get the big stuff. My brother and I would look at each other knowing he was going to make it weird. In 8th grade, I asked for a new bike, and my dad told me all through December, you're going to be so excited. And I thought, oh God, this is going to be bad. So on Christmas Day, he took me outside, and he gives me the bike, and it wasn't really that bad, but it was used. And I delivered newspapers, so it had these cool saddle bags on the back, and I thought, this is great. I can put my bags in there and throw the papers. It was kind of cool. It was retro, but it was brown. No 14-year-old wants a brown bike. I didn't even know they made brown bikes. The next year, I tried to be more strategic. It was 1980, and I asked for a boombox. And I thought, these are relatively new. And my dad said, great. And so the beginning of December, he's like, I got you a really cool gift. And I'm like, this is going to be bad. So on Christmas Eve, he gives a big reveal, and he brings out this boombox. It must have been one of the first ever invented boomboxes. It opened and closed like a suitcase. I mean, it was cool. It did look retro. I mean, you couldn't put it on your shoulder or anything, but you could take it to the airport as you would your luggage. It would eat the cassette tapes, and my dad was like, they all do that. And I'm like, really? Really? All the boomboxes do that? Over the years, I came to terms that the only thing that my dad was handing down to us was alcoholism and used gifts. As soon as I turned 16, I drove us to Aunt Margaret's. The uncles no longer played Santa. The shrimp somehow seemed smaller. But I still enjoyed the pizzelles, and this was where we got the new gifts. When I was 19, my dad gave me a used car for Christmas. Pretty cool, right? It was a red gremlin that matched his yellow gremlin. matching his and her gremlins. Just what every young woman dreams of. My dad said no one else will have one like it. And I said, no shit. It was vintage. The car worked pretty well, except it had a hole in the floor of the car where you put your foot to touch the accelerator. And he said, just put a rug over it. But when you were driving, you could see the fucking ground. And when it rained, the water came up through the hole. And as I was going back to college, he handed me 2 metal tins of pepper. And he said, sometimes the radiator leaks. If it leaks, just pour a whole tin in there. It'll seal it up. It worked. That car broke down everywhere I ever took it, but think of the stories I have. And I still have the gremlin gas cap because it has a gremlin on it. It might be my favorite worst gift. At the end of the day, shouldn't we all be grateful for the gifts we receive? Isn't it the thought that counts? In my opinion, no. My dad would always say, you're so religious, Michelle. Isn't Jesus the reason for the season, not the gifts? I would think to myself, you don't know me. Don't bring sweet 8-pound baby Jesus into this. And then he would laugh and say, Merry fucking Christmas.